Hello and welcome to this fresh and new edition of Market Masterclass on Money9, India's first multilingual platform for personal finance from TV9 News Network. I'm Sakshi Batra. We are amidst this second wave of COVID-19 that is hitting us harder. On an everyday basis, we are seeing record number of COVID-19 cases. Also, there is panic and nervousness all around with the shortage of healthcare facilities and resources as well. And the markets are also turning increasingly volatile because of that as well. To help us make sense of the market momentum and how should you really approach the markets in this current volatile scenario is a very special guest joining in. Mr. Devang Mehta, Head of Equity Advisory at Centrum India, joins in. Thank you very much, sir, for taking out time for us and being with us on Money9.
Thanks, Sakshi, for having me on the show. Pleasure to be on the show.
Pleasure is ours, sir. Sir, let me begin by understanding from you, how are you approaching the markets currently amid this second wave of COVID-19? We have already seen a fall of about 10% on the benchmark indices from their all-time high levels, and the volatility just doesn't stop. So how are you looking at the markets? Is there further pain in the markets?
I think for the better part of the last year, we had a fast and furious rally. Market was extremely resilient for the large part of the last year. Now probably yes, with valuations as high, and as you rightly said, the second wave of COVID hitting India but drastically, I think yes, there is some volatility which is going to stay. So my sense is volatility is the only constant for the next 1 quarter at least, and one needs to take advantage of this volatility rather than probably shying away from it. So sense here is that on valuations, on the liquidity side, even on the sentiment side, things are a little not so great, which was great probably a couple of months back. So I think we'll see this volatility, but it has to be used to one's advantage.
Okay, so one should definitely use this volatility to their advantage, and we'll take all the tips on how to do that from you on this show as well. And now some of the sectors of markets have also fallen quite considerably, much more than the benchmark indices. Are you tempted at this point in time to buy afresh in some of these sectors, and how should investors also approach this?
I think yes, clearly we are focused on some of the sectors which are falling. There are individual businesses, a lot of such businesses which are probably debt-free, companies which have high ROE, ROC, sectors in terms of some sectors which probably make a balanced portfolio. For example, India's strength has always been IT, FMCG and pharma, as well as healthcare. IT and pharma are exporters. And of course, FMCG has been India's big consumption story. So these sectors probably would have great set of earnings. One has to have these sectors in the portfolio. Apart from it, yes, there are certain sectors like banking, private banks, insurance companies, building material companies. All these companies probably should be looked at even at a smaller fall.
Okay, understood that. But for new investors, what would you suggest? Is it a good time to enter in the current market scenario with these volatile moves coming in? And what should be their strategy to handle this kind of volatility?
I think the strategy clear is you have to make volatility your friend. So volatility is always a friend of the long-term investor. One important thing is that probably you should not get volatility in your mind. That's I know it's easier said than done. But the easiest method this way is to invest in tranches, invest gradually. Don't put all your money in couple of stocks. Have a diversified, balanced portfolio of say 15, 20, 25 businesses as per your risk profile. Buy slowly, buy gradually. Rome was not built in a day. 3 to 6 months of buying with a disciplined approach and buying great businesses with good numbers, good ROE, ROC probably would make your portfolio over a longer term much with a great cushion, and you will not experience this type of volatility in your portfolio at least.
Okay, understood that as well. Now, looking at some of the sectors that are in momentum, the thematic scheme seems, we are talking about the oxygen companies that have risen quite sharply in the last few sessions as well. The metal stocks have been doing quite well in the last few weeks as well. IT is rising on the back of the earnings, and also the pharma sector is definitely clearly one beneficiary of the COVID-19 second wave. How are you looking at these momentum sectors? Is there merit in it? That investors should really look at these sectors or adding some of the names from these?
I think metal particularly has been a extremely cyclical sector over the past 20 years. If one looks at and dissect the earnings of these companies, it typically probably does very well in some of the periods, and in other periods, these companies are laden with debt. They have acquired some companies, and all these companies probably are more a debt trap. So right now, yes, the times are good. Metal cycle has sort of improved. Somebody who is in for a medium term, a tactical bet on metals probably could be envisaged, but not for long-term investors who want a stress-free type of a portfolio and a good night's sleep. So metal and cyclicals, normally global cyclicals we avoid. Your question on, yes, IT, pharma, this are necessarily India's strengths. And IT, as we know, how productivity has improved, how we still need to work from home, how efficiency improvement is required. And a lot of these companies have shifted their revenues from usual service businesses to digital businesses. So companies like Infosys, TCS, all of them have again seen record type of business flows or record inflows in terms of their order flow. So my sense is, yes, IT as well as pharma, healthcare, all these are going to be necessity type sectors, essentials, and this are probably should be the part of your.
Okay, so for long-term investors, IT and pharma should definitely be part of your portfolio and not just for the time being, because they are going to give you good stability over the time of period as well. But how are you looking at the earnings picture? So far, so good is what we have seen. Like IT sector has reported good earnings, better than expectations in some cases as well. But on the other hand, this second wave of COVID-19, these intermittent lockdowns, do they all cap the upside on the earnings momentum? Of course, before the second wave hit us, we were quite robust about the Q4. Even if Q4 results in like better picture for us, does this second wave also put some kind of risk for the future quarters?
Yes, the earnings has always been a drag story for India in the last 5 years. It is in the last couple of quarters what we have seen earnings growth coming back and how. So you've seen that diversified set of companies have started to come up with good set of numbers. Companies increasingly gaining market share. A lot of large listed players have sort of benefited at the expense of their smaller peers. So this is one formula which a lot of people were just applying for the next couple of quarter earnings, where we were talking about even 30-35% type of earnings growth for FY22. Now, probably, yes, if you dissect some earnings, as I said, IT, pharma, FMCG, building materials, metals, this all companies might come up with good set of numbers. But on the other side, there are companies in the economic recovery space, companies in the capital goods universe, companies in the infra universe. All these companies might probably face the hit for some time. There are chances
Okay.
that companies in the universe like travel, tourism, multiplex, hotels, there would not be such a diversified set of earnings. So yes, there is a risk to earnings and also risk to economic recovery in terms of even GDP growth. So one has to monitor this over the next couple of quarters.
Sure, I'll take your point forward. So you are talking about these sectors like aviation, tourism, hospitality. Now, these are the sectors we have seen that they were the worst hit in the first wave, and in the second wave, again, they are facing some hurdles yet again. Also, multiplexes, aviation, all of these sectors. So, what is your call over here for investors? The kind of declines that we are seeing currently, should they be bought or should they be avoided completely?
Clearly market hates uncertainty, and that's one thing which even investors hate. So in a sense, right now, if you try to buy this and time this businesses, actually there are no such answers whether the earnings or the revenue models of these companies, how would they emerge.
Hmm.
Probably right now, I've not seen airport for the last 13 months, so we used to travel every week. So this is just a story of a lot of people. So my sense is that aviation, hotel, tourism are hope place on the hope that vaccination will be sooner than faster. So it would not be like the first wave of COVID, where there was so much of uncertainty. Right now, yes, there
Yeah.
is the hope that vaccination is also happening. In the next 6 months, if 50% of India gets vaccinated, I think time to probably look at this stocks a little earlier. Maybe one quarter
Hmm.
down the line will be time to look at this.
Okay, understood that as well. But I also wanted to take your view on one more space, and that is the primary market space, which has been in huge buzz, not just in 2020, but also in 2021 so far. We've seen these recent spate of IPOs that have hit the markets, and quite a few non-conventional names also have come into the market. We've seen exceptional subscription figures. So, how should investors really view this space? Of course, huge investors' interest into all these IPOs. There is this thought process that, if I buy into IPOs, I'll get the lowest possible price, and which is why I can have the chance of making maximum amount of profits. What is your guidance here?
I think clearly here one needs to be watching this space very closely. One, the quality of paper is extremely important. So all IPOs can't be painted with the same brush. There will be a lot of such papers which will come into the markets, seeing the momentum rally in the market, seeing markets probably very happy to give these companies a good premium than which they would have commanded way back in 2018 or 19. So the answer to this is yes, select your IPOs. Some of them have been extremely good. Luckily, I think we have seen a couple of years of good listing gains also for a lot of investors. But listing gains should not be only looked at. It is the quality of the business. It is in which industry they operate. whether they are better than their peers, listed peers. Some of them don't have peers at all. So there, yes, probably they would get a premium. But right now, I would clearly say that just because of it's a new age business or it's a sunrise business, which a lot of promoters put into picture, don't just get or fall into that trap rather. There are n number of good secondary listed companies available in the market. Compare them with the primary peers and then go ahead and subscribe or not subscribe to the IPO.
Okay, one needs to be very, very selective when it comes to IPOs. Only very good quality names with fundamentally sound balance sheets and a good vision of growth, over longer term is something that you should look at, and not just the listing gains. And don't have this FOMO, as in when you see some of the IPOs hitting the street and making the profits double in just a single day. That may just be a value trap if you do not really understand the businesses. Clear caution coming in there from Mr. Mehta. And lastly, Mr. Mehta, I wanted to understand from you, how would you really suggest the retail investors? Our focus is the new investors who are watching our shows on an everyday basis, who are who do have some money. They have absolutely no knowledge about the markets, but they really have understood over this period of time that equities is something that can give them good value, good income over a longer period of time. That's how their incomes can maximize and they can generate wealth. So how would you suggest these retail investors to create fresh portfolios or make alterations right now? Is it time to deploy completely to equities, or is it time to save some cash or hedge against the riskier assets? What's your call there?
I think retail investors should probably first try and understand what type of business they are buying and what type of portfolio they are creating. The most important word which I use here is risk profile. Right? Everybody's risk profile wouldn't suit a volatility which normally an equity market brings in the shorter term. So my sense is, yes, if you are here for wealth creation, hear me out, preservation and multiplication in a saner way in the longer term. Equity markets are for you. Buy great businesses. Again, Nifty and Sensex, the movements of indices wouldn't give you any sort of money. It would only give you that adrenaline rush or a thrill. But money is going to be created in businesses, and that I mean stocks. So where you have to construct a 15-20 stock portfolio, invest in tranches, invest gradually, invest over the next 3 to 6 months, have a list of businesses ready. As I said, 15, 20, 25 is per your appetite. Some sectors which I always recommend, insurance, private banks, some sectoral companies like building materials, as I said, IT, pharma, FMCG, a lot of such companies, 5 to 6 sectors and 20, 25 stocks in them. And then gradually build this portfolio, look at the numbers. ROE, ROC should be probably about 15 to 18%. No debt or low debt, ideally. Good corporate governance, good promoter history, profit after tax, revenues, EBITDA growing at least 10, 15% or more. I think this filters, if you try and apply, there are at least 20, 25, 50 companies in India which would be part of your portfolio over a longer term.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Mr. Mehta, for summing up this entire approach of the new investors. Which are the filters one really needs to apply as and when they approach the markets? How to select these great businesses for a long wealth generating portfolio, and have just 20, 25 select companies and keep gradually investing in them. That over a period of time will definitely provide good returns to your portfolios as well. Many, many thanks, Mr. Mehta, for joining us on this special show and sharing your views and insights on the market outlook and the sectors, as well as the stocks one can definitely look at adding to their portfolios. It's been a great pleasure to speak to you. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Market Masterclass, but do stay tuned on to Money9.com. A whole lot of news and coverage on personal finance follows up next.